الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على خير خلق الله وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين أما بعد. And I will kindly request those that just joined us right now, if they can potentially rename themselves as their real name, so the session becomes more engaging when the speaker takes place, inshallah. I think S and M is, I think, is abbreviation for their names, but if you could just rename it, so we know your name, inshallah. After praising the King of all kings, the Master of the Day of Judgment, the one, the only, Allah, the Almighty Azza wa Jal, and salutation on the chosen one, the best one, the noble one, the forgiven one, the bearer of glad tidings, the seal of all prophets, the Imam of all prophets, the Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I would like to start with the session by a Quran citation, so we could bless this gathering, and this will be delivered by أخونا الكريم محمد عيد. فليتفضل مشكورا.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل أذلك خير أم جنة الخلد التي وعد المتقون كانت لهم جزاء ومصيرا لهم فيها ما يشاءون خالدين كان على ربك وعدا مسؤولا ويوم يحشرهم وما يعبدون من دون الله فيقول وأنتم أضللتم عبادي هؤلاء أم هم ضلوا السبيل قالوا سبحانك ما كان ينبغي لنا أن نتخذ من دونك من أولياء ولكن متعتهم وآباءهم حتى نسوا الذكر وكانوا قوما بورا فقد كذبوكم بما تقولون فما تستطيعون صرفا ولا نصرا ومن يظلم منكم نذقه عذابا كبيرا وما أرسلنا قبلك من المرسلين إلا إنهم ليأكلون الطعام ويمشون في الأسواق وجعلنا بعضكم لبعض فتنة أتصبرون وكان ربك بصيرا وقال الذين لا يرجون لقاءنا لولا أنزل علينا الملائكة أو نرى ربنا لقد استكبروا في أنفسهم وعتوا عتوا كبيرا يوم يرون الملائكة لا بشرى يومئذ للمجرمين ويقولون حجرا محجورا وقدمنا إلى ما عملوا من عمل فجعلناه هباء منثورا أصحاب الجنة يومئذ خير مستقرا وأحسن مقيلا ويوم تشقق السماء بالغمام ونزل الملائكة تنزيلا الملك يومئذ الحق للرحمن وكان يوما على الكافرين عسيرا ويوم يعض الظالم على يديه يقول يا ليتني اتخذت مع الرسول سبيلا يا ويلتى ليتني لم أتخذ فلانا خليلا لقد أضلني عن الذكر بعد إذ جاءني وكان الشيطان للإنسان خذولا صدق الله العظيم.
جزاك الله خير الجزاء يا أخونا الفاضل محمد Eid for this beautiful recitation, and may Allah reward you immensely. Without any further ado, I just wanted to give you a bit of understanding of what we do. So Max Homeschooling provides an educational service for those that want to homeschool their students. So generally, the majority of the students that actually join us today, if not a large number of them, they're actually studying with us for their own reasons. Some of them is just because of the things that have changed within the curriculum and so on. Now, with Max Homeschooling and Ahl al-Dhikr Institute, which is founded by Ustadh Ariff Olla, presents the monthly Islamic lecture. So every month we run a free Islamic lecture. This takes place every month. If you are interested, feel free to message me or email me in order to send you the contact information. I would like to welcome our distinguished speaker, Ustadh Ariff Olla. Just to give you a bit of understanding, he is an instructor, a khatib in our local city, Leicester, Ustadh and a founder of Ahl al-Dhikr Institute, and he's also my former teacher in tafsir. May Allah reward you immensely, Ustadh al-Kareem. فلتفضل مشكورا مأجورا, and the topic today is Ikhlas and Taqwa for our youth.
الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيد المرسلين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant us ikhlas and taqwa. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that if He removes this generation, what will be left of Islam? We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to have mercy on us and to overlook us with His mercy, and to make ikhlas and taqwa firm in our hearts, so that His beautiful religion can continue. And without this, we will be deviated. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's protection from deviation. As the brother mentioned earlier, I think it's good if we have our actual names as the participants. If you've signed in, please put your actual name, because it is going to be interactive. And I would like to ask as well if the parents are comfortable with this, if they can all put their cameras on. And the parent doesn't have to be on camera, but as long as the child, inshallah, is on camera, that would be good, inshallah. Because this, inshallah, like I said, is going to be interactive. There are going to be question and answers. And this, inshallah, will help facilitate learning. And it's the closest thing that we can have to actually being in the classroom together. That's the first thing that I would like to say. The second thing I would like to say is that thank you for your patience. We were supposed to start over 15 minutes ago. But I think it's good that we've started a little bit late, because it allows people to join in. What we're going to do is, it's going to be a 40-minute lecture. And it's the allotted slot we've got is about 50 minutes. So what I want to do is concentrate on the children for 30-35 minutes. We see a lot of young children here, mashallah. Can everyone give me a wave, please? I can see Sumaya Muhammad. Can you give me a wave? Mashallah. Mu'ad, can you give me a wave? Give me a wave. Mu'ad, yeah, you. Yeah, that's it. Mashallah. Okay, so now everyone's waving. Mashallah. I can see Yahya, I can see Sumaya, I can see other kids haven't put their camera on yet. Okay, so now because there's a lot of young kids, I think 40 minutes is going to be pushing it a little. So we're going to try our best to concentrate and get the message of Ikhlas and Taqwa across to them within 30-35 minutes. And then what I would like to do is speak to the parents. So then, if the parents can remain behind, you can let the kids go after that and let them be kids, so to speak. But a word of important advice to myself as a parent and to us all about the importance of Ikhlas and Taqwa And that is basically what we will try and do in today's session. Okay, so as you can see on the screen, Ikhlas and Taqwa for our youth. Now, task number 1 for all of the children. Is everyone listening? I want you to touch your nose. Touch your nose. Touch your nose. Touch your nose. I've tricked one person. He touched his head. Why are you touching your head? Touch your nose. Are you looking at me or are you listening to the instruction? Touch your nose. Everyone touching your nose? Let's see on the other screen here. Touch your nose. Asi Abdullah, touch your nose. Yeah. Someone's hiding there behind his legs. Right. Touch your nose. Okay, that's good. Next task. Oh, stand up and sit down. Stand up and sit down. Good. Stand up and sit down. Good. I think one person was jumping there. Stand up and sit down. Muhammad, stand up and sit down. Saleh, stand up and sit down. Good. Right. Next activity. So you've touched your nose and you've stood up and sat down. The next one, let's see what's next. Oh, leave the room and come back. And you've got 5 seconds to do that. So wait. I haven't said go yet. I'm going to count down. Ready. Go back. Amira, wherever you are, go back on your chair. You've got 5 seconds to do this, all right? So sit down on the chair and wait for the go, and then you have to get up and go, okay? Yeah, Shakira, you listening? Ready, steady, bananas. You're not listening. Ready, steady, grapes. It started with G. Still tricked some of you. Right. I think this might be the real one. Ready, steady, go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, just about. Oh, Mariam was late. Everyone's here. Good. Right. Now, you might be thinking, well, what's the point of all of this? It's very fun and stuff, but what's the point? Are we supposed to have an Islamic lecture here? Right. Here, I want to ask you a question. Why did I get you to do these things? Now, you need to choose one answer. I'm going to give you 3 seconds or 5 seconds to think about it. Here's your question, okay? Why did you touch your nose? Why did you stand up and sit down? Why did you go inside the room and outside the room? Why did I get you to do that? Number 1, is it because it's good exercise? Number 2, no. Is it because, no, wait, I don't want you to answer right now. I want you to think about it and then answer. Is it because it's good exercise? Is it because I want to see if you can hear me? Is it because I want to see who's fastest? Or is there another reason, right? So I'm going to give you 5 seconds and choose an answer. Then you can type your answer on the side, or you can put your hand up, just like you're in school. Don't shout out the answer. Put your hand up, and then I will choose the person, and then I want them to give an answer. So answer the question in 5 seconds. I'll give you 5 seconds to answer. Think about the answer. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so Abdul Haq said because you want to see if we are listening properly. Oh, okay, good. Anybody else? What's your name? Muhammad? Go on, Muhammad. What do you think?
Because I want to see if you can hear me.
Okay, another person said here. Yeah.
Because it's good exercise.
Because it's good exercise. Right. Anybody else?
Swimming is exercise.
Shakira.
Saleh said it.
Saleh said good exercise. Shakira.
Number 2.
Number 2, because I want to see if you can hear me. Okay,
because
good.
I want to hear you.
Yeah, okay.
I'm not on camera, so I can't put my hand up.
Oh, so but what's your answer then?
It's good exercise.
Good exercise. Right. Anybody else want to? Anybody?
Want to.
Yeah, Mariam. What do you think, Mariam?
Because I want to see if you can hear me.
Okay, we've got somebody else, Abdullah, saying here because you want to see if we're paying attention. So that's going to go under number 4 with their explanation. Very good. Very good. Very good. Very good. Right. The reason, now this is the answer. The reason why I wanted you to touch your nose and stand up and sit down and go inside the room and outside the room is for you to realize that whenever somebody tells you to do something, your mom, your dad, your teacher, your brother, it might even be a younger brother or a younger sister. It doesn't necessarily mean that they have to be older than you. They normally ask you to do something if there is a reason behind it. Okay? Nobody will just tell you touch your nose for no reason and then put your hand back down. Does that make any sense? No. If somebody tells you stand up and sit down for no reason, what would you think about that person? Always standing up, sitting down. And you ask him, why is he doing that? And then you'll think, okay, that doesn't make much sense. Okay? The reason why I got you to do these things, is so that you realize that there is a reason behind everything. There is a reason behind everything. And if you're just touching your nose for no reason, then that doesn't make sense. If you're just standing up and sitting down for no reason, someone will think, what's wrong with that guy or girl?
Guys, stop laughing. Guys, stop laughing.
Yeah, stop laughing. Who's laughing? Who's laughing?
Sarah.
Oh, why are you laughing? Are you laughing for a reason or no reason? See, everybody laughs for a reason. Okay, so now I want you to answer the next question. Now, when you understand, so what's the answer to this? Because I want you to know that everything happens for a reason. Okay? Right. Now you've got another question you need to answer. So it's the same thing again. Think about it for 5 seconds. Don't answer, put your hand up, or type the answer, or put your hand up, and then you can answer. Are you ready for the next question? Is everybody ready for the next question? Abdul Haq, are you ready for the next question?
Yes.
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 Amira, are you ready for the next question? Amira and Fatima, and what's your sister's name?
Nora.
Nora, okay, because it's cut off, I can't see it. Salim Muhammad, are you ready for the next question? Right, this is going to be a bit of a tricky one.
Yes.
Okay, it's a bit of a complicated one, but I want you to try your best with it, yeah? Question. Why did Allah create you? Don't answer. You've got 5. I'll give you 10 seconds actually. 10 seconds. Think about it and then put your hand up afterwards. Why did Allah create you? Number 1, to worship Him. Number 2, to worship Him and then to enter into Jannah. Number 3, because it's a test. Life is a test. You probably hear a lot of people saying that. Or number 4, there is no real reason. We have been created for no real reason. We just eat and drink and sleep and have fun and do lots of games and activities, and then that's it. Or there is another reason. 10 seconds to think of your answer. And after 10 seconds, please type or raise your hand. Go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 3,
To worship.
1. There's only one answer. There's only one correct answer. So somebody says number 2 and number 3.
To worship.
To worship Him. Okay, so who says to worship Him? Put your hand up.
Yeah, put your hand up. You said
Who says to worship Him? Put your hand up. Who says to worship Him? Put your hand up. I can't see you, Fatima. Is your hand up? Sumaya Abdurrahman, Fatima in Saudi Arabia, is your hand up? I can't see you. Yes, your hand's up. Everybody's got their hand up. Oh, Abdul Haq hasn't got his hand up. Okay, right. Okay. Mariam and Asya, Isa's got his hand up. Okay, good. Who says to worship Him and then enter into Jannah? Wait, has everyone got their hand up again? You can't. You can only have one answer. You can't have more than one answer. Shakira, is your hand up again? Huh? 2 answers. You can't have 2 answers. There's only one answer. To worship Allah and enter Jannah. Now, who wants to change? Okay, maybe you want to change your mind. Do you want to change your mind?
No. Oh, yes.
No. So answer Shakira's answer number 1 only. Yeah.
I don't.
Saleh Muhammad, what do you think? Number 1 or number 2?
Number 1.
Number 1. Sumaya Abdurrahman and Fatima, number 1 or number 2?
Number 1. 2.
Wait, 1 minute. In Saudi Arabia, they're confused. Sumaya is saying number 1 and Abdul Rahman is saying number 2. Huh? Abdul Haq is saying number 2. Let's see. Amira, Fatima, Noura, what do you guys think?
To worship him and then into Jannah.
Everybody agreed? Do you agree with that, Fatima and Noura? Okay, so they're saying all the sisters agreed there, number 2. Mu'ad and Muhiddin, number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, or number 5?
Number 1.
Number 1. Does anybody say number 3?
Number 1.
Does anybody say number 3? Abdul Haq and Abdullah, you said number 3 earlier. Does anybody say number 3 still?
No.
Maryam and Asi, you got your hand up. Are you saying because you say number 3 or you just feel like having your hand up?
Number 2.
I think you just feel like having your hand up. Okay, so everybody is saying number 2. Anybody say number 4? Anybody? Number 4? No one? There's no real reason?
Hafsa thinks it's number 2.
Okay, good. What do you think, Yahya and Maryam?
I think it's to worship him. I think it's to worship him too.
So number 1. Okay, good. Number 4, anybody say no real reason? There's a lot of people that actually believe in this, that there's no real reason. But does anybody here think that there's no real reason? No. Okay, number 5, any other reason? Anybody got another reason that's not here that we don't know of? Good, right. The answer is, are you ready for the answer? I'm going to scroll down now, so pay attention. It's coming. The answer is Allah created us to worship him.
Yes.
So the correct answer is number 1. But if you said to worship him and enter Jannah, then you are right too. I will give you that as a right answer. You know why? Allah says in the Quran, who can read this? Can anybody read this?
Me.
Who's me? Who said me?
I can.
Who said me? 1 minute. Who said me first?
Isa.
Isa, go on, Isa Ali. Can you read it?
Okay. وما خلقت الجن والإنس إلا ليعبدون.
Excellent. Did you want to read it as well, Sumaya Muhammad?
Yes.
Yes, go on then.
وما خلقت الجن والإنس إلا ليعبدون.
Illa. There's a shadda there. Can you see the shadda? Illa. That means you need to make it strong. Shadda means strong. Illa liya'budun. Can anybody do it with their eyes closed? Go on then, try it. I can't hear you. Your microphone's off, but I can hear you from the other room, so there. So go on then. Who said that? That was beautiful. Who said that? Who was that? Sumayya, mashallah. Allah bless you. Allah bless you all. Okay, but what does this mean? It means Allah is telling us that I've only created jinn and man for one reason and one reason only. What is it?
Just mean this.
To worship me, meaning worship Allah. That's the reason why you have been created.
Yeah.
But when I said and enter into Jannah, that's also important because does Allah want to punish you? Does Allah want to be angry with you?
No.
Does Allah want to put you in the fire?
No.
Does Allah want you to listen to Shaitan so you can follow him and be bad?
No.
No. So what does Allah want? Allah wants you to worship him so that he will be nice to you and he'll put you in Jannah. So the reason why Allah has created... Okay, so now let me ask you. Sagal, is that the right way of saying it? Sagal, why do you exist? Why are you a human being and not a plant or a tree or something else?
If we worship Shaitan, Allah will put us to Jahannam.
Okay, but that's not the reason why Allah created you, is it? So I'm asking, the question I'm asking now is why did Allah make you?
So we can worship and enter Jannah.
Beautiful. Abdul Haq, why did Allah make you and your brother and your family? I can't hear you. You're on mute. Or you can type the answer if you want. Why did Allah create you? Salih Muhammad, why did Allah create you?
So Allah created us to worship Him and enter Jannah.
Sumaya Abdurrahman Fatima, why did Allah create you?
And he didn't want us to go to Jahannam.
Excellent, good. So that he wants to worship and he doesn't want us to go to the hellfire.
Yeah, and it says, I did not create him and humans except to worship me.
Okay, good. Now let's pause because there's another question now.
Listen.
If we know that Allah wants us to worship him and that's the only reason why we exist, what do you think the next question is going to be? What is worship?
Oh.
Okay, so now another 10 seconds to think about what is worship. Is it number 1, only to pray Salah and Quran and that's it?
No.
Number 2, to be good people and that's it? Number 3, to stay away from bad and that's it? And that's it, just stay away from bad and that's it? Or number 4, there's something else?
Number
Right, 10
1.
seconds. 10. Think about it. What is worship?
What? Number 4.
10,
Number 3.
9.
4.
No, don't shout the answer. You have to put your hand up or type it. Where was I? 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, Amira, Fatima, and Noura. So you look so patiently waiting to answer the question. So I'll let them go first. Go on then. Amira, Fatima, and Noura. What's the answer?
Number 2? No, I think it's all of them. Because the last
I think it's all of them, but all of them is not there. So now you're in other, so that means you have to explain. So please explain. Let me just change that a second. Just close your eyes for a second. There you go. So you're choosing number 4. You think it's all of them. Can you then explain why you think all of them?
Because Allah said you can't do too much of
No.
one thing. So if you pray
No.
too much,
So do it to sent to.
Okay, so you have to mix it up, and that's worship. Okay, good. What do you think, Fatima and Noura?
What do you think is the answer, Saleh?
All of
Fatima and Noura, the question's with Fatima and Noura right now. What do you think worship is?
it's right. I think it's to pray Salah and Quran.
That's it. Nothing else is worship. That is the only thing that is worship.
I'll listen to that. Wait.
Okay. Saudi Arabia, yeah, Mariam and Hafsa.
Oh, no, it's...
I'll listen to that thing.
1 minute, it's not your turn yet. Yeah, Mariam and Hafsa.
What's to say? To be good.
To be good people, number 2. Okay, so Salah and Quran is not part of worship. It's only if you're just a good person, then that's it.
Mine is to pray Salah and Quran.
Okay, so then nothing else is worship. What about Hajj and fasting in Ramadan and all of that stuff? Is that not worship?
It is worship.
It is worship, so then it's not there. Then you have to explain. So you're going with number 4. What do you think?
Listening to the 5 pillars of Islam.
Okay, so only the 5 pillars of Islam is worship, and that's it, nothing else?
Everything that Allah said to do. Oh yeah, everything that Allah said to do.
Oh, okay, so Sumayya's come up with that. Everything that Allah said to do. Is that it?
And do
And
do what told you to do. Stay away from bad.
And stay away from. So excellent. So now all of us have come to the answer together. So congratulations, guys. Give a pat and let me say that again. All of you, give yourself a pat on the back. Pat on the back. Not a pat on your leg, a pat on your back. That means we've all got the right answer. What is it? What is worship? Worship, Salah and Quran is worship because Allah told us to do it. Being good people is worship because Allah told us to be good people. Staying away from bad is worship because Allah told us to stay away from bad. So what is worship? Worship is everything that Allah loves and told us to do. And worship is everything that Allah has told us not to do and stay away from. Why? Because Allah has created us to worship Him. And Allah has created us to go to Jannah. Can bad people go to Jannah?
No.
Can good people go to the fire?
No.
Is that fair? It's not fair, is it?
No.
So Allah has created us to be good people, and Allah has created us to be not bad people, so that we can go to Jannah. Now, let me ask another question. Now, here's some ayat, and I think what we'll do is we'll skip over the ayat, but I can send this to your parents, and if they want to read it with you, then that's fine. Because of time, I will skip over the ayats. But here's one ayat. Let me just quickly quote the first one. Allah tells the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, "Qul innani hadani Rabbi ila siratin mustaqim." Say to the people of Quraysh, the people who were being really rude to him, Allah has guided me to the correct way. Dinan qiyama. It's the upright way. It's the best religion. Millata Ibrahim Hanifa. It's the religion of Ibrahim, who had Tawheed, and he wasn't from the people of Shirk. Then Allah tells the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam in the next ayah, "Qul inna salati." My salat, wa nusuki, my hajj, and my sacrifices and things like that. Wa mahyaya, and all of my life. Wa mamati, and even when I pass away, lillahi rabbil alameen, la sharika lah. Qul inna salati. Now look here, Allah is saying here, my salat is for Allah. My sacrifices are for Allah. Everything I do in life is for Allah. So what does that mean? It means that worship, Allah has created us so that from the beginning of your life to the end of your life, you are good people and you stay away from bad things. Next question. Are you guys ready for the next question? Now that we know why Allah has created us, now that we know what worship is, can somebody give me examples of what worship is? Let's start from the top, and we'll go in alphabetical order. So we want Amira, Fatima, and Noor. Give us an example of what worship is.
Respect neighbors.
Say again.
To respect
5.
neighbors.
Respect your neighbors. I didn't hear that. Sorry. What would you say?
To respect your neighbors.
Respect, yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, respect your neighbors. Sorry about that. Okay, have you got another suggestion there from Fatima or Noor? Worship, can you give me an example of worship?
Share.
Sharing, excellent. Sharing. But that's not salat. There's no Quran involved in these things, in both of these things. Why is it worship?
Be kind to others.
Because, yes, okay, that's answered the question. Being kind to others, because Allah loves all of these things, that we are nice to people, that we share with people. Okay, Isa, Ali, and Abdullah, can you give us an example of worship?
To obey Allah only.
Okay, so give me an example of that.
To not worship anything else.
Okay, so have Tawheed. Excellent, beautiful. Tawheed is to worship Allah alone. What's Tawheed? What's Tawheed?
Worship Allah alone.
Salih Muhammad, what's Tawheed?
Worship Allah alone.
Sagal Shakira, what's Tawheed?
Worship Allah alone.
Okay, Maryam and Asiya, can you give me an example of what worship is?
To give charity.
Excellent. To give charity, looking after the people who are needy. They need stuff. Right. Who's next on the list? Mu'ad Muhyiddin. Example of worship. What's worship? Can you give me an example?
Worship is to be kind and to believe in Allah.
Excellent. But those two are already there, so they're already taken. So you need to give me another one. What about eating pizza? Is that worship?
No.
Is it not worship? Eating pizza is not worship.
It's not worship. We just ate some right now.
Okay, so put your hand up if you think eating pizza is worship. Sagal says, yeah, he likes pizza. Anybody?
It was Zakaria.
Zakaria, sorry. Anybody says what eating pizza is worship? Okay. Anybody says that eating pizza is not worship, but it can become worship? Why can it become worship, Saleh Muhammad?
Because you're if you're hungry, you can just eat.
So Abudi, why can it become worship if you eat pizza?
Because when you say Bismillah.
Because when you say Bismillah. So eating, I'm going to write it then. Eating pizza can be worship because Allah told us to eat.
Sharing pizza.
And sharing and look after ourselves and say Bismillah. And Allah has provided these things. Allah has given us these things, so He wants us to use them. So if you have that intention before you eat, then this can be worship. So now, anything that is good is worship, and staying away from anything which is bad is worship. Why is worship so important?
Because
it's the reason why Allah created all of us. Excellent, right. Now, when we have just talked about doing good and staying away from bad, this is something which is known as Taqwa. What's this called? Taqwa. Taqwa is to do the right thing and to stay away from something which is wrong. Taqwa is to do the right thing and to stay away from something which is wrong. So now Sumaya and Muhammad are going to have some milkshake. How can that become worship? How can that become worship? Say Bismillah, think about Allah, say thank you to Allah, say Alhamdulillah. Okay, can somebody give me an example of something which is wrong that we need to stay away from?
Worshipping shaitan.
Oh, excellent. Shirk, worshipping shaitan, excellent.
Doing things that are haram.
Doing things which are haram. Can you give me an example?
Like,
To smoke.
Oh, smoke, okay. All right, I'm not going to write that down, but that's right, yeah. What were you saying, Amira?
Eating pork.
Eating pork.
Smoking.
Haram food.
ooh,
Anything else which is wrong?
Not playing
Oh, of course, being bad.
Swearing.
not praying salah.
Parents, not praying. Oh, we've got lots of
Not
that.
doing good. Not doing good deeds.
Okay. Now stop, everyone stop talking, everyone. Everyone stop talking. Okay. Allah has created us to worship Him. Worship Him means that we do good deeds and we stay away from bad deeds. This is called Taqwa. Taqwa is when you always think, is this the right thing to do or not the right thing to do? And this is really the reason why Allah has created us, so that we can have Taqwa. And it's only the people of Taqwa that will go to Jannah. If you don't have Taqwa, then there's no guarantee that you will go to Jannah. Do you understand? So this is why we are studying here today, and we are looking at the reason why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created us. Now, if you remember in the title, we said that there's another thing, it's called Ikhlas. Ikhlas is something that we need to have inside. Okay? Ikhlas is something that we need to have inside. Every single one of us need to have this, because if you don't have this, your worship and your taqwa and your good deeds and your staying away from bad deeds will not be accepted with Allah. So Abdul Haq is saying ikhlas is sincerity, but what is sincerity?
When be sincere.
Yeah, but how do you know you are being sincere?
When you do it just for Allah.
Excellent. Every single one of us, when we do worship, when we are doing good deeds, and when we are staying away from bad deeds, you can't do that. Can everyone be quiet? Listen, I'm saying something which is very important. Be quiet. When we are worshipping Allah, and when we are doing good deeds and staying away from bad deeds, what's that called again? Doing good deeds and staying away from bad deeds. What's that called? Taqwa. Excellent. Well done, Zakaria. Well done. I think Sumaya said it before you, but both of you, well done. Taqwa is when you do good deeds and you stay away from bad deeds. Now, the most important thing in taqwa in order for it to be accepted with Allah is that you have ikhlas. Now, ikhlas, like Abdul Haq said, is that you only do it for Allah. You don't do it because your parent is looking, because mum and dad is there, so I'm going to pray my salah. And if they're not there, I'm not going to pray my salah. Because my teacher is looking, I will do my work. And if they are not looking, I will not do my work. I will be nice to my brother and my friends if people are looking, but if they are not around, I will be mean to them. I'll be, call them names and things like that. Why? Because you realize that Allah is always looking. Allah can see you right now. Allah can see all of us right now. He knows what's inside of your head. He knows what you are thinking. He knows what you want, why you are doing those good deeds. And Allah will only accept good deeds if you want to make Allah happy and you want to enter into Jannah. Can bad people enter into Jannah? No. So when you do good deeds, you need to remember that Allah is going to be happy with this good deed.
Like that people in some movies, they be bullies, but when people are around, they don't.
Exactly. So when you're watching some cartoons and some programs and things like that, some people do that. You always have a bad character, and that bad character, sometimes he's nice. Yeah? And we don't want to talk about cartoons right now, but I think you can think of some examples. That when you're watching a cartoon, you can think of a person, he's being nice, but you know he's not a nice person. Why? Because he doesn't have ikhlas. He's only being nice so that he can get his plan, and then he can do what he wants, and then that his plan will be achieved. Do you understand? So now, what is ikhlas? To make Allah happy. Why do you do any good deed?
For Allah's sake.
To make Allah happy and to enter into Jannah, because it's only nice people that will enter into Jannah. So we want to be nice people so that Allah will be happy with us and so that we've got a chance of going to Jannah. But then remember, what is good deeds? What is good deeds?
Things that Allah loves.
Good deeds is
that we always make sure that we are doing something right.
Yes.
We always make sure that we're trying our best to stay away from something which is bad. Okay, now here's another thing, which is in number 3 here. What do we do if you have done something bad? Or maybe you did it on purpose, or maybe you made a mistake.
You say sorry.
You say sorry. Who do you say sorry to?
Allah.
How do you say sorry? How do you say sorry to Allah? Sorry, Allah, I won't do it again. How do you say sorry to Allah? You have to say. You have to say.
You say sorry to that person.
You have to say astaghfirullah, astaghfirullah, and you have to say sorry to that person. Okay, but inside your heart, what is the ikhlas that you need to have in your brain and inside your heart when you are sorry?
That you won't do it again.
Excellent. Number 4, that is ikhlas. That when you make a mistake, every one of us is going to make a mistake in your life. Nobody is a machine. Nobody is perfect. Okay? But we need to try our best to have ikhlas and taqwa. Ikhlas, we want to make Allah happy, and we're constantly thinking, okay, is this something Allah will be happy with? Is this something that Allah will be angry with? And then we'll go ahead and do it. If Allah is happy with it, we'll go ahead and do it. If Allah is not happy with it, we'll say, okay, I'm going to try my best to stay away from that. Because I want to enter into Allah's Jannah. I want Him to be happy with me, not angry with me. Okay, but now, what happens when you make the mistake or you've done something wrong? You need to say sorry to that person. You need to say sorry to Allah by saying astaghfirullah. And you have to promise never to do it again. This is ikhlas and this is taqwa. But last question now. Why is ikhlas and taqwa so important?
Because it's a guide in your life.
Because it's the reason why Allah has created us. Because Allah wants us to go to Jannah, and people without ikhlas and taqwa will not go to Jannah. Because all good deeds, now look, what's going to happen when you go back to Allah? What's going to happen? Does anybody know the answer? After you pass away and you're resurrected on the Day of Judgment, what's going to happen?
Going to be questioned.
You're going to be questioned in front of Allah, and there's going to be really big scales. And your good deeds are going to be put on one side, and your bad deeds are going to be put on another side. If your bad deeds are stronger than your good deeds, what's going to happen? Allah protect us. Do we want that to happen? Do you want to see? You don't even want to see the fire. Do you want to go into the fire?
No.
Okay. But if your good deeds are stronger than your bad deeds, what's going to happen? You're going to have a good chance. You're going to have a good chance to go to Jannah. But remember, we can't do good deeds without wanting to make Allah happy and without doing what is right and staying away from what is wrong. Now, these two last points are very important, okay? Does anybody ever feel bored? Does anybody ever feel bored? Say that again.
It's part of worship.
What is part of worship?
Ikhlas and Taqwa.
Ikhlas, yeah, it is. It is. You're right. Well done. Okay. Now, here's my question. Is there ever a time where you feel bored and you feel, oh, I don't want to do this or I don't want to do that? And
Yeah.
do people feel like that sometimes? Does anybody feel bored?
Yeah.
Is there any a time when nobody ever feels bored?
No.
Oh.
There's always shaitan and something. Never.
Okay.
There has to be a good time.
Focus on the thing.
Feeling bored and not having anything to do can be normal. Don't worry about that. It can be normal. But what you need to remember is that when you are in life and you are feeling like there's nothing for me to do, then that's not right, because Allah has created us for a reason. And if you are thinking, okay, well, I don't feel like doing this and I don't feel like doing that and I feel really bored, then what you need to do is get shaitan away and go and do something which is going to make you happy and be a good deed of ikhlas and taqwa. Because, like we said before, you don't always have to be praying salah or, you know, reading Quran. Anything which is good, Allah is happy with. And you can think of so many different things that you can do in your life so that you won't be bored and constantly be making Allah happy. Okay? Has anybody got any questions about ikhlas and taqwa? So now I'm going to ask you again. Why has Allah created us? What's the answer? Hand up.
To do what he says, go to Jannah. To do good deeds.
Do good deeds. Okay. What are good deeds? Question number 2. What are good deeds?
Being kind, doing Quran, praying.
Excellent. But these are examples. What is a good deed? I mean, no, I don't want an example. I want you to explain to me, what are good deeds?
A good deed is something that Allah...
Isa, Ali, what are good deeds?
Something that that doesn't make Allah angry.
Excellent. Something that Allah is happy with and something that Allah doesn't want us to do.
Yeah.
What is, last question, what is ikhlas? Hands up, don't say anything, put your hands up. Now choose someone. Okay, Sumaya Muhammad, what is ikhlas?
Sincerity.
What is sincerity?
Wanting to make Allah happy.
Excellent. Wanting to make Allah happy. And there's another thing that you can say as well on top of that is wanting to go to
Jannah.
Wanting to go to Jannah. Okay, good. What can we do? This is the last question actually. What can we do if you make a mistake? Hands up. Sumaya Nabudi, what do you do if you make a mistake?
You can say astaghfirullah.
And that's it?
And say sorry to that person if you did do it.
And that's it? And promise never to do it again. This is ikhlas and this is taqwa, and this is what Allah wants for us. And if you carry on like this, and if you remind yourselves, and if you remind your parents, and if you remind your pets, and if you remind your school teachers, and if you remind your school friends, and if you remind everyone that's around you, and if you remind your football, Abudi, you will go to Jannah. Inshallah. Maryam, what's your question? Maryam, what's your question? Why's your hand up? Go on then. Kanina.
Is you wanting to go to Jannah?
We just called a cat to do it.
Yeah, you can tell your cat to do good deeds as well. Yeah, I don't know if they'll listen. Okay then, kids, you can go away now because I want to speak to your parents. Assalamu alaikum.
Goodbye.
Okay, so just a couple of minutes with the parents. Barakallah feekum. Jazakallah khair for joining. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us all tawfiq and success. You've got beautiful children. You're all doing a fantastic job with your kids there. I can see that they're all, you know, engaging and interacting with Islam. Alhamdulillah, they have been given good tarbiyah, and you guys are all on the right track. And don't feel like that you're not doing enough. You see clearly that you are all upon goodness, and it's very important that we don't compare one another, etc. I think these concepts of Ikhlas and Taqwa and Tawheed and all of those kind of things are very important, because those are the foundations that we need to build upon. You see, a lot of parents, they base good parenting and tarbiyah on how much Quran they recite, or how much salah they pray, or how much of akhlaq that they have, and these are all very good values, don't get me wrong. Without Ikhlas and Taqwa and Tawheed and Shirk and Tawbah and Tawakkul and these kind of concepts that you find in Islamic literature of Aqidah. I mean, you can just open up Usul al-Thalatha, and the Shaykh al-Islam Muhammad ibn Wahhab rahimahullah gives you a whole list of things that you need to have as examples that he puts down as acts of worship. So he puts down the very first thing that needs to be singled out for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is dua. And then he goes on, Raghba, Rahba, Tawakkul, Khawf, Raja, and all of these things. All of these things are internal. If you notice, he says that worship belongs to Allah, and he gives all of these internal examples of worship to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He could have easily said Salah and Siyam and Zakat and all of those things, reciting Quran, etc. But he gives all these internal. The point that I'm making here is that Ikhlas and Taqwa and these concepts are so important. I mean, these are the things that we need to put into our children. Because if a person doesn't, as we have explained to the children just now, if a person doesn't have Ikhlas, they will lose motivation in life. They will lose motivation in life because they don't know the reason why Allah has created them. So then their motivation will be in something else, whether it will be in drugs or Allah protect us. But this is, you can just look outside and you'll see that people are not motivated in life. They want easy money, they want easy desires, they want everything to be given to them easily, and they will go any way to achieve that. Ikhlas keeps a person motivated because he realizes that Allah has created him for a reason, and that his khair and his jannah and his reward and his recompense is somewhere else. So even if something is difficult right now, he will not become sad and depressed. He will not become happy when he is given for the sake of the dunya. He realizes that he is motivated, and that keeps him in check for what is going to happen in the future, in the akhirah. So Ikhlas is very important as a motivational factor. But also Taqwa is very important because of the fact that it keeps the person in line upon the Sirat al-Mustaqim, even after we're long gone, passed away, or if we are in their lives but not around. If we teach them these concepts of Taqwa, it allows them to become independent in their iman, so that they will then choose the right decision and stay away from what is wrong. So this is something which is important. This is just one session. We cannot keep, we cannot assume that they're going to understand Ikhlas and Taqwa in half an hour and that's going to be there for the rest of their lives, etc. It is an ongoing thing that every single parent needs to instill in their child. These two concepts are very important concepts to begin with. Ikhlas, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created us for a purpose, to worship Him and to attain His Jannah. How does a person go about, and that keeps them motivated upon the Sirat al-Mustaqim. How does the person attain that Jannah for himself? It can only be done by having Taqwa. And these are the things that we really need to drill into our children. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant us all tawfiq and success. And like we began with this session in supplicating to Allah, and we will end with the same supplication. We will say to Allah, Ya Allah, the Ummah is going through so much fitna, and the fitna is increasing, and our children are being led astray by the shayateen day and night. Allah, if you do not protect us upon Ikhlas and Taqwa, what is going to happen to Islam? What is going to happen to us? Oh Allah, keep us firm upon Ikhlas and Taqwa until we meet you, for us and our loved ones that are yet to come, and have mercy upon those that are left before us. هذا والله أعلم وصلى اللهم على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين.
جزاك الله خير الجزاء يا أخونا الفاضل Ustadh Ariff Olla for the most beautiful interactive session which I ever attended. May Allah reward you immensely. I could see the mashallah, the kids really enjoyed it and they were very interactive as well. And ask Allah to make us amongst those that listen and reflect and implement upon what has been mentioned. Barakallahu feekum ajma'in wa jazakum Allah khairan. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Jazakallahu khairan, teacher. MashaAllah. The lecture is very good, and inshallah we will try the best, inshallah.
Barakallahu feek. Allah bless you. Jazakallah khair, Ustadh Muhammad, for having me. Inshallah, this won't be the first time. Inshallah, we'll do this again.
Inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum to all you kids. Inshallah, we'll see you soon. Assalamu alaikum.